was decide to do this, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And then, you know, a year down the road, you become someone you never thought you'd be, just to hold on to that thing. So it'll spit you out. Unfortunately, a lot of the young people just don't have a relationship with Christ to know what to do. So that would keep encouraging that. Yeah. Unlock the church. Let them plug into the big speakers, but be there. I think that's a good thing. You're right there.
Oh, I don't have a
No, the guy behind you, but that's thank you.
I don't understand how temptation gets when, especially when we're doing what God wants us to do. You guys have been like, when you're behind the enemy lines, so to speak, at these concerts, that your faith is tested even more, and how have you guys dealt with that?
You know, we have a really unique situation. I know I do, especially being that my wife is with me. And we're really, I'm blessed, you know, and I think not only because, I mean, she's an accountability partner or whatever that may be, but maybe the things that would be hard for me on the road, loneliness, or just not knowing what to do in a situation. I don't know how many times a day I'll say, all right, Cor, you know, it's just this and this and this, and I just don't really know if I should say that, you know, and she'll give me help. So I'm a little bit at an advantage over a lot of other people, so I will say that. But, you know, I think that you make those decisions before you get in those circumstances, and that's what I also encourage. A lot of Christian bands I toured with, I feel like that they've not made those decisions. You know, it's kind of like going to prom in your car alone. I think we know what I'm saying here. Sounds sweet. No, I'm saying that I want to go to prom with you all over. We didn't go to prom together, but I would like to. Anyway, I want to see that picture. Yeah, that thing was sweet, wasn't it? I was scared. Anyhow, you know, just like you encourage your kids to make these decisions beforehand of who you are. It's like that with bands. I think a lot of Christian bands haven't done that, nor do they have good relationships with their bandmates and or management or whatever they be for them to be like, dude, what's wrong with you? That's stupid. You know, so we have rules, you know, like we don't, I don't know what we do, we don't do. We have rules. Okay?
And I think like you were saying earlier, that the enemy, if he was really obvious, none of us are in a place where we would choose blatant sin, you know, hearts for God. But the enemy is subtle, and you need wisdom in every moment of every day, particularly when we're out there. So whether it be you let a song come in that, oh, John isn't singing enough, and you start to go down that road of disunity and discontent, those are things you can't let in. You know, when fear creeps in, that's from the pit of the devil. Fear is from the enemy and from hell. And those are things that we can't allow in. And when we see in each other, if I see entities coming in, I'm like, hey, you know what, there's not room for that here. So let's deal with it now. We've got to walk in the light with each other, got to believe the best about each other, got to love each other in an active way, not a passive. I'm going to sit back and watch this happen way. Because you know what, the enemy's too smart and he gets in, and then it gets too far gone and you have big blow-ups. And that's just ridiculous. And what I don't want to focus on is little petty things in here when I'm focusing on ministering to kids out there, you know.
Amen. We're going to go one more right here.
I'm a youth leader, and I'm here with 11 kids Sunday, so my dad's not here. I always try to emphasize to them how important it is to be the Word. And I know with you guys, sometimes it's hard. So, do you guys make time for that? And how much of that is affecting, you know, what you guys are doing and what you're trying to do?
The question was time with the Word. I'm sorry, that's the one thing I didn't hear, time with the Word. No, you're fine, you're fine. You want to talk?
We do make sense of that on a more personal level rather than corporately. And then I read sort of periodically, but otherwise it's kind of your own discipline, your time with the Lord. And I feel I've been walking to the Lord for a really long time now. I'm the oldest member of the band by far. And I got saved when I was 5. By kind of far. I could be her mother, technically speaking. But anyway, the more I walk with the Lord, the more I realize, you know, nothing can really be done in my own strength, no matter how good I am at even preaching the Word or thinking I can understand the Word. I'm leaning more on prayer these days than ever before, knowing that in my own wisdom, even if God has given me wisdom, nothing can really be accomplished unless I pray. And I do this for club as well for some of our fans. And I get loads of messages from kids who are in youth groups that they want to commit suicide. It's crazy how there's such a separation between their actual personal understanding of God and their relationship to Him and the rules of Christianity, which is not Christianity nor is the gospel. But there's not like an understanding that God is real. Like salvation is a miracle. The fact that somebody with a nature like yours could become new and real and restored to a relationship with the living God. Like, I think young people are so callous because they're raised in it and their hearts are callous. It's just, I guess what I'm realizing more and more is God has got to reveal Himself to them. And they've got to have some modicum of hope or faith that He will reach them. That He will do it if they ask. Because these kids are like, I'm worthless, no commit suicide. I'm like, what's the point? At least give it a try. At least ask God for like a week to touch you. At least persevere a little bit. Because you have nothing to lose right now, So I think it is important to get in the Word, but it's important to find God in the Word. To reach to Him with faith, because He'll speak to you personal things in your heart that are for you through His Word.
That's huge. It's got to be more than just an answer in Sunday school. It's got to be something that is tested. And I think the fun thing you've got here is you guys get to walk out and go, look, this is people that, yeah, we can have John come up and do a sermon, but the fact that God's Word is active to motivate you guys to do this for so many years, that's a testimony that God's Word is real in someone's life. And I think we need to do that. And by the way, it's my job to remind you guys how old you are, not yours, okay? So, cool.
Look like sisters anyway.
Oh my goodness. By the way, for those of you guys that have kids that are musicians in your group, I think one of the things we need to do, and I don't say this a whole lot, but we need to shine a brighter light on the fact when we have ladies playing in the band, okay? We need to do that. You players, put instruments in your girls' hands. Don't just hand them microphones and expect them to sing, okay? Yeah, I'm still waiting for the line of pink drumsticks. We're going to talk about that.
Absolutely. I realize that, when you were asking whatever, I was like, I don't know what rules we have. We do have rules. I didn't know which ones to say, which ones not. I would say what those are real quick, because it's good because you were asking. I know tons of probably your kids want to be musicians or whatnot. These are things that maybe they need to think about. But like, for instance, one of my new rules, well, one of our rules is always, we don't have alcohol in our dressing room, stuff like that. My new rule is that after a show, I don't walk around with a cup full of soda because people think it's alcohol and they get all freaked out. Somebody could be my manager. I saw John drinking on stage with Papa Roach or whatever, and the only thing I could possibly imagine it being is I had a styrofoam cup full of soda. So we don't rules like that. But some of them are not dumb. Some of them are really good. For instance, we don't have, no matter how innocent it may seem, you don't bring a girl to the dressing room, whether for what she could say or what you could end up feeling or whatever that is. We just don't do things like that. And again, I think the accountability that we have together, you don't bring a girl on the bus. I don't care that she's, well, still, we have girls here, but me, I don't bring a girl on the bus. It doesn't matter that I've known her for 20 years from high school. If my wife's not around, I wouldn't do that. And you don't know what people are either saying or what they're thinking or whatever. So I will say with Skillet, I'm very proud that my band we don't suffer from temptation the way that I think a lot of people do. Well, now you're a mainstream band. It's really hard for you not to want to do a lot of drugs after a show. Those things are not tempting in any way to my band, to me, nor any of my members, which is fantastic, or any of those type temptations. So I'm really thankful for that. I got a band full of people who love God, and just again with your question, that I think are devoted to the Word, and I think that's something that sometimes I don't see in some other bands. But when you meet bands and you do see it, like I'm a good friend of Toby Mac, when you meet Toby Mac and you get his heart on the band,